Dear brothers and sisters, today we have the toughest teaching of Jesus. We may not find another teacher in the world who will say such hard things to anyone who wants to follow them. Usually all teachers offer very favorable things. What are your advantages of following me? What you will get? Jesus is telling the plain truth, which Saint Paul understood, and in the first letter he said, I have only sought one wisdom, the wisdom of Jesus Christ who was crucified. So Jesus puts three conditions to anyone who wants to follow him. This is known in spiritual theology as the cost of discipleship. The cost of discipleship. What you have to pay. What is the price of being a disciple of Jesus? First, Jesus says, if anyone comes to me without hating his father, mother, wife, children, brothers, sisters, and even his own life, it looks, how can Jesus teach to hate? Actually, here hate is not about hatred, but you have to consider following Jesus as a superior value to any other relationship. That is the point. Following Jesus, you may have to sacrifice parents or brothers or sisters or anything, even your own self. When you weigh these two, you have to choose to follow Jesus. Secondly, he tells, whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. So being a disciple means you have to carry the cross. And what is this cross? The cross is the denial of the self. To abandon self-will and follow God's will, that is the greatest cross. Not any physical punishment. It's often our mental, spiritual struggles that are our real cross. And thirdly and finally, Jesus tells, every one of you who does not renounce his own possessions cannot be my disciple. So ultimate poverty is the sign of a disciple. And today we have Saint John of the Cross, who literally practiced all these three principles. He lived in the 16th century, born in Spain in 1542, and died at the age of 49. And today is known as the doctor of the church and the most famous Catholic mystic ever lived. His life was marked by cross from the very beginning. He was born in a family which was originally rich, but his father chose to marry a poor woman. So he was disinherited of his entire property. The brothers of his father said, no, you cannot be part of this family. So he had to work every day and live. When John was 3 years old, his father died. And when he was 5 years old, his elder brother died, and he was left with his poor mother, who tried to make a living by working very hard. Since she could not support him, she sent him into an orphanage. You know what is orphanage? Where children who have no parents are sent. There he tried to live and learn, but that he didn't have the money to learn, so he took up a small work in a hospital. As a child, with a little money he studied, and at the age of 21 he joined the Carmelite order to become a priest, and he was ordained priest at the age of 25. Then there was a big struggle. He really believed that the Carmelite order had diluted their principles. He wanted to live the original Carmelite spirituality inspired by Saint Teresa of Avila. It was that time he changed the name. When he was ordained, when he became a Carmelite, his name was Saint John of Saint Matthias. John of Saint Matthias. But when he embraced the new spirituality the harsh spirituality, he changed his name, St. John of the Cross, and that became true in his life. It's a long life story, but the hardest thing is, since he stood for reform, his provincial ordered him to go back to the style of the monastery in which he originally joined. He refused. So he was arrested and put in prison in a cell which is just enough, long enough to lie down. He was put in a prison. He was given only water, bread, and once a week a little bit of fish. And every week he was brought out and lashed or beaten for his disobedience. So after 9 months he escaped and he went back to his new monastery or the reformed monastery. And later, because his health was very poor because of the imprisonment and other things, he died at the age of 49. Why I told the entire story is because it's very clear how he lived the cross. The everyday sufferings, he did not find fault with anyone. He did not curse God. He did not disown himself. Even in the cell, what he did was to write poetry. He was praying and he was writing poetry and books which became the classics now. So suffering can reform a person, suffering can purify. So that's what John teaches. Accept all your sufferings as a purification for the sin. And the ascent of Mount Carmel, he tells, if you really want to see God face to face, you will have to purify yourself of all sin, not only sin, sinful thoughts, sentences, desires, and even all the punishments for the sin. It's like a glass. God is light. If the glass of the window has stain on it, whether it is deliberately stained or some dirt on it, light cannot enter. So if the soul is purified like a crystal, 100%, then we'll have a full vision of God. So this is a big challenge for us today because the world believes in pleasure, easy life, comforts. That is the wisdom. St. Paul tells the wisdom of this world, and the wisdom of the gospel is very different. It's a big challenge. As we prepare for Christmas, we see these things. Mostly we spend time celebrating, eating, decorating, and even Christ, the child, is missing from Christmas. People write even Xmas as if they don't know Christ or they want to remove Christ. And we put only Christmas Papa and gift boxes as the images of Christmas. So this is a worldly wisdom, and St. Paul even that time was fighting for the wisdom of God. And let us listen to these words of wisdom from God so that this Christmas may be more meaningful to all of us.